Good morning, Liberty County. It's good to be before you once again. My name is Donald Lovette, honored to serve as Chairman of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners. We come today to give you an update on the COVID plans that we have for our county, our respective cities, all of our entities. We want to again appreciate all those persons who are, some are in this room with me and some are behind the scenes and who are working diligently to keep Liberty County safe. You have noticed, or you should have noticed, that our numbers have been consistent. We are being told, I want to inform you that there's more testing that's going on now, so our numbers may increase. So we're going to ask you on behalf of all of us, or each of us who are here, to please continue to follow CDC guidelines. Let's not get too complacent. But I want to thank you for your diligence thus far in being compliant. That means a lot to us because we want to keep our numbers down, keep our population safe, especially our vulnerable population, those who are or seniors or those who may have underlying conditions. Let's do all that we can to keep our citizens safe. I am being told that, though, when I'm just going to call the name, when some of our major shopping, I'm going to just say shopping stores in Liberty County have been quite busy, and that many of you have been seen not wearing face masks. It is still recommended that you wear face masks anytime you're in a store or in a public place like that. Please take your face mask with you, because in that store you're not always able to social distance. So please do that for me if you will. That will help us out tremendously. I know that we are moving forward. We're planning for a phased-in opening. There's no date or time set yet. Of course, you know that we have to abide by the governor's emergency order. We're still under that, and we coincide with that as we speak. But we are planning for the day when things can return back to whatever the new normal is. We keep saying the new normal. We would never go back to what it was before, I promise you that. Never go back to what it was before, but there will be a phase-in process where you'll be able to do some of the things you've been able to do or do it in a better way that will keep us healthy on all levels, whether it be in the public or at home. The hand washing will never go away. We'll wash our hands more every day, I'm sure, and the sanitizing. So those things will be there for us. So let me applaud you once again for your efforts. Let me say how much I appreciate our team, the Liberty team, for working together to get us to this point. And right now we'll open up for some updating. First coming to your front is Mayor Larry Baker, the mayor of the city of Walthourville, Georgia.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mayor Brown. The city of Walthourville is still in a precautionary mode. We are being safe in every aspect. And I want to personally thank the city of Walthourville for adhering to the call. This is very serious again, and we are all in this together. So our Hillary Park walking trail is open. The Hillary Park is not under the city of Walthourville, it's with the Liberty County Recreation Department. So the trail park is open, but we are limiting the kids sliding boards and stuff like that. So again, citizens of Walthourville, we appreciate everything that we're doing together, and God bless you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm Alan Brown. I'm the mayor of the city of Hinesville, and good morning to everyone. As you no doubt have seen on the news and on social media, there are orders flying left and right on the state and local level, and it can be difficult to keep up with the changes. Last Thursday, April 30th, the City Council approved an updated emergency order to stay in line with the governor's orders that were set to expire on May 13th. Governor Kemp then issued orders that day to extend public health emergency to June 12th and the shelter-in-place orders for the elderly and medically fragile to June 12th as well. This Thursday at our meeting, we'll take the appropriate action to stay in tune with what the governor has done. I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items, and I'll be brief before I turn it over to our city manager and our county manager to talk about more details. First, there are a few type of businesses that still cannot open. These are bars, nightclubs, public swimming pools, and live performance venues. They must stay closed through at least midnight on Wednesday, May 13th, unless otherwise ordered by the governor's office. Stay tuned to that, please. Secondly, we're not out of the woods yet. As a city and county, we've been extremely blessed to have fairly low rates of cases thus far, with a very small rate increase of cases in the last couple of weeks. In early April, we had a stretch of 10 days where there were 25 new cases. And in the last 15 days, we've only had 5, which is very encouraging. But as you may have heard already, we got more testing going on now, and that could affect the numbers some. But I'm still encouraged. I ask that all citizens of Liberty County and Hinesville remain vigilant in their approach to their own health and safety and the health and safety of their families. We in the city are planning an incremental approach to reopening our facilities and amenities, so we ask that you do the same. I'm encouraged by the thoughtful approach of many of our business owners over the last week and how respectful the majority of our citizens have been of the measures thus far. Remember, though, remain vigilant so our numbers will continue to be low. I look forward to the day that we can come together again and enjoy all our city has to offer. But until then, I ask you to act in the interest of health and safety in all that we do. We have entered a new age of normal that we're all working to try to reconfigure. So let's do it together. Stay safe. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kenneth Howard, City Manager for the City of Hinesville. Just wanted to expound on several things that the Mayor mentioned. One is that the businesses that are allowed to open, we need the citizens and the business owners to basically help us out in this effort, and that is to help ensure that our CDC guidelines are being followed and adhered to, for the simple fact that we don't have the capacity to strictly enforce those guidelines. The city of Hinesville, just in the city of Hinesville alone, we have almost 1,100 businesses here. And so we need your help. We have done, as the mayor indicated, we've done a great job thus far. And I feel that we'll continue to do that, but we cannot let up at this point in time. A couple of things that the city has done since we last met. Last Saturday, the city of Hinesville opened 2 recreation facilities. These recreational facilities are Irene B. Thomas Park and the Bryant Commons Park. Those parks are open from 7 to 7 and 6 to 6, and that's 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Respectively. In other words, the Bryant Commons Park will be open from 7 o'clock and close at 7 p.m. The Irene B. Thomas Park will be open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, you also heard the mayor mentioned testing. Testing is a very key element in this overall process because it gives us a snapshot of where perhaps and how many cases we have in our community. There are 2 entities that I know of that are currently administering these testing, and Mr. Brown perhaps would come and share with you the Department of Public Health. But I want to share with you some of the things that the Diversity Health Department is doing, our clinic is doing. They are testing from Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And from 2 to 4 p.m. And they're doing this from Monday through Friday, and this is being held at their office off of Fraser Drive. And so this is a key because these testing are free of charge. And so they're testing anyone that desire to be tested. It doesn't have to have any symptoms or anything like that. So please go out if you feel that you need to be tested, go out and get these tests done because it does help us with the count and see exactly how the virus is impacting our community. Also, they're having pop-up sites. Diversity Clinic, they're having pop-up sites. There's one today at Regency Place. This is from 9 to 12 today. And tomorrow in Riceboro, in the city of Riceboro, they're having a test site there from 11 to 2 p.m. tomorrow. And so, this is very key because we don't really know, up until recently, there hasn't been a sufficient amount of testing done. And so we're raising that at this point in time. And just for example, for what Diversity Health has done, over the last 3 days, they have administered over 400 tests. And so that is significant so far as the numbers are concerned. And so perhaps we will see some increase, but I think that as long as we continue to adhere to the CDC's guideline, we can keep that at a minimum. So we're going to encourage the community to just stay the course and let us be vigilant in what we're doing as it relates to this virus. The city of Hinesville, we're meeting, as the mayor said, we're meeting tomorrow. We're going to basically address some of the issues as it relates to the governor's order, but we are also putting in measures that would help us protect our citizen as well as our employees. We are developing a plan and where we would basically transition back into the offices. Our offices are still closed at this point in time to the public. However, we want to transition into where the public would have access and do that in a phase-in approach. And so we're looking forward to that, but it's not going to be, as the chairman said, it's not going to ever return to normal because of the fact that this virus just doesn't dissipate or it doesn't just go away. It's going to be around. And so we want to make sure that this community, the city of Hinesville and Liberty County as a whole, that we're aware of that. We are cognizant of the impact that this virus may have on our community, and we're vigilant in our approach to prevent it from spreading. And once again, thank each and every one for what you do, and stay safe, stay home, and we'll come back together at a later time. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joey Brown. I'm the county administrator. Just a couple of notes in follow-up. The commission did renew their order last week. Their old order expired, and they renewed their order to be consistent with the governor's order. Our new order is set to expire at the same time the governor's is, which is next Wednesday on the 13th. There's no indication at this time that we have locally on what his plans are at that time, whether he'll renew his order or just allow the order to expire. Right now, our buildings still are closed to traffic. We're still offering service at the front doors of those buildings or through appointment by calls. So if you do need something, I hope that you won't hesitate to come to that location, and someone will be glad to try to assist you. Our recreation parks that are under the recreation department still remain open for walking only. I will tell you that last night by virtual meeting, the commission did discuss both a reopening plan for buildings as well as a phased-in plan for the recreation parks that are under their guidance. Timing on those will depend on what the governor does or doesn't do with his order later on next week. Mr. Howard mentioned the testing sites that Diversity was running, and those are very good. The Coastal Health District, I think we talked about this a little bit last week on the update, are doing some pop-up sites around the Coastal Health District. One of those will occur tomorrow at Schumann Center. It's a free drive-up center. It'll run from 8:30 till 11:30 in the morning. Tentatively, there's a schedule next week that may get changed to Wednesday, but I don't want to hang too much on those because those are still proposed times right now. We'll come back to you later when those are defined. The Schumann Center location there is at James Brown Park, and again, it is a drive-by, no get out of the car type offering. Mr. Howard mentioned Diversity. That is at 303 Fraser Drive here in Hinesville, and that pop-up site for Riceboro will be at the Riceboro City Hall. Do want to emphasize again that anyone with questions on COVID can call the state hotline at 844-442-2681. Earlier this week, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Georgia extended the judicial state of emergency for the courts through June 12th. This continues the suspension of all criminal and civil jury trials until that date. The Liberty County Justice Center, because of that, will continue to be closed to walk-in traffic. constitutional officers in that building are conducting limited activities, mostly by appointment. If you do have a specific question about any of those court-related functions, you can contact the number at those offices on their website. Those numbers are also displayed at the building locations. Other issue I want to mention briefly is in the area of elections. As you know, the presidential primary is set for June 9th. Early voting for that primary will take place May 18th through June 5th. The 2 early voting sites will be open on those days. The first of those is the main election office located 100 North Main Street in Hinesville. The second location is the Liberty County Community Complex at 9397 East Oglethorpe Highway in Midway. We've posted to our website recently a Vote Safe Liberty notice, which outlines certain things related to the election. I'd ask that you please visit that site to read those in its entirety. I do want to mention a couple of things that are posted there, though. We've been asked by the Secretary of State, in light of the COVID, to encourage absentee ballot voting. The Secretary of State, as you have heard and are aware, did mail every active registered voter request form in April. The application has specific information on it for requesting an absentee ballot. If you did not get one of those, or if you have lost that, you can contact the Board of Elections office at 912-876-3310 to request information on how to get that ballot. Unless you're a military or overseas voter, these ballots must be returned no later than the close of the polls, 7 p.m. on Election Day. In light of the COVID-19 situation, the Secretary of State also authorized local boards of elections to allow use of absentee ballot drop boxes. Our local board has ordered one of these secure boxes and hopes to receive that around May 18th. It will be located at the board's main office on the Midway Street side. That's the Browell Park side here in Hinesville. This box will be monitored by security cameras and will be available for use 24/7 with no postage necessary. We highly encourage you to use this method because in-person voting will take on a whole new perspective on voting day. On that day, there will be social distancing protocols in effect, and all in-person voters will be encouraged to wear face cloths. No person, however, will be denied the right to vote in any situation on that day. And just a reminder, the last day to register to vote is June 9th. For the June 9th election is May 11th. If you choose in-person voting, I would tell you to please bring your patient's cap also. With the new machine process and the COVID protocols in place, you should expect some additional delays for in-person voting, especially if you come at peak times. So in closing, we'll monitor the governor's action or inaction before next week and likely have a call with the commissioners to discuss what actions are needed at that time. I want to yield for a second now before we take some questions to Mr. Larry Logan. Mr. Logan is our Director of Emergency Management here in Liberty County.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. To the chairman, to the mayors of Liberty County, city manager, just want to say it's been an honor to be able to serve the people during this pandemic and during this time. What a great task, and I thank God that we've been able to do it successfully with still the number of 0 deaths, and I just appreciate Almighty God for His support in that effort. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge a few people. One is the Georgia Emergency Management and our federal Emergency Management Agency for helping us through this time frame. A lot of people don't understand or know this process, but we were actually in need of supplies. Supplies were running out, and one of our greatest tasks from emergency management is resources, making sure that there's enough resources for our nurses, first responders, for all the people that do the great work in our community. And I want to thank them for meeting that response. We got the supplies we needed, and we're still ordering supplies. And so I want to thank both those agencies for that. Our Department of Public Health for being a hub and being the one that takes care of that. Having said that, there's some things that we can't change. One of the things that we can't change is when the hurricane season starts. We can't postpone it, nor can we cancel it. So what we have to do is be prepared for it. So with this pandemic going on, we still have to continue to work toward the things that we need to do to prepare. With my IT director, the chairman, the county manager, we're basically trying to look forward to doing some virtual training and preparation, information briefings, and things that will get the information out to the people that need it. We will not be caught unaware of this hurricane season, so we'll definitely push information out. The third thing I'd like to talk about is an opportunity for us to help one another during this time frame, help our seniors, help people that are struggling, that are in need. And so as a hub for information, for people that may be suffering, if you have a community need or if you have a need, please let us know, and we'll try to make sure it's directed to the right source. We can't go over all of them today, but I do want to let you know that we are interested in helping anyone that may have a need, and we thank the Almighty for the ability to reach out to meet some of those needs. And having said that, those are basically areas that I wanted to cover today. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much, and we'll yield back to any last comments that Mr. Brown may have.
Yes, sir. Actually, we just tracking a couple of questions I want to answer. I want to take a moment to say, too, thank you for watching this broadcast. We're limited here in Liberty County, of course, without a television station on how we can get information out to you. So please feel free to share these, and we'll try to continue these on the schedule that we have set. I had a couple of questions, one related to social distancing of infants and daycares and how that could possibly be done. Ms. Ortiz, thank you for that question. My direction, I think, would be to ask that daycare that question and have them call the licensing agency for the state of Georgia or call the COVID hotline to get hooked up on some suggestions for that. I think we'd rather not give out those suggestions since we don't license those facilities. But that's a very interesting situation and obviously one that won't be easy to do. The other question relates to absentee ballots and when you can expect to receive those absentee ballots. Thank you, Ms. Mize, for that question. Actually, those absentee ballots, if you remember, are being delivered by the Secretary of State directly to you. I understand that you can go on the Secretary of State's website and through a search category there be able to find out the status of your absentee ballot request. So again, that will depend on how soon the Secretary of State sends those out. I don't see any more questions, so this time I'll turn back over to Chairman Lovette to close us out.
Thank you. I want to appreciate everybody again for your participation and for our collaboration. Just want to reiterate probably that, please take advantage of the free testing that's available. Please take advantage of the free testing that's available wherever it is being done, whether it be the pop-up centers or through the health department, or through diversity. It's all out there, and I'm glad to hear that they're going to different areas of the county. That speaks volumes. So please, ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of the free testing. But do expect that once we have an increased test volume, that we will more than likely have an increase in numbers of positive cases. Now, we're trying to get total numbers on how many people are being tested and the positive versus the negative, but we were told this morning that certainly there are many more negatives than there are positives. So we know that, and we're pleased with that. And I want to close with this. I want to thank the county leaders, all of you in your respective places, for your diligence thus far, and we'll be here for our citizens. I shared maybe a couple of weeks ago about some family losses, and many of you commented on that. Just yesterday, I heard a story. One of my employees has family in the Albany area. A young man who did not feel well, and it's not from the two funerals that you read about, but a young man who did not feel well in Albany attended a funeral and then later visited his grandmother. So he wound up losing that family member whose funeral he attended, and he lost his grandmother. So we are blessed in our area, to not be a hot spot. And of course, our prayers and condolences goes to each area that is a hot spot. I mean, you read and see the news like I do, but I just want to let us know just how real that is. and not to let up on our guard. You know, you see my mask, I have it right here. So let's do that, because there are, you know, I just shared that story, but I'm sure that many stories just like that. And of course, our heart goes out to the young man who wanted to attend that Rose's funeral. I understand that, but by doing that, he also wound up exposing his grandmother, and certainly his intent was not to harm his grandmother. So take it just that seriously. If we do that, then I'm sure we'll be all right. So let's keep it up. We're in this together, aren't we all? We're in this together. We'll make it through. But in the meantime, let's be vigilant, and let's abide by the rules and regs and ordinances that we have to abide by, because they're being done really for our good. So someone say how long? I don't know how long, but until. So thank you so much for your attendance, and please share this Facebook Live post with your friends and neighbors, and we hope to see you again next week, same time, same place. Thank you.